Pac-12 action, guys. Oregon, can they bounce back? They're facing the Washington State Cougars. Oregon, again, off one of the games of the year last week. A great matchup. It lived to the hype. Still in the mix. Now, the important thing to realize is this. If you're Dan Lanning and the Oregon coach, yes, you lost yesterday's game, but with the setup of the Pac-12, it really didn't mean anything. You have everything left in front of you. It's not a bubble burst game like sometimes when you lose a game. Why? Because there's no more Pac-12 divisions. The top two teams face each other in the Pac-12 championship. If they run the table, they have their destiny in front of them. They'll get a rematch with Washington in Las Vegas in Allegiant Stadium, and they can advance to the playoffs with the right pieces falling in place. I was surprised when I went to the database and pulled this number, guys. When I look at AP top 10 teams that lost, they actually have come back to cover over 58% the next game. Excuse me, 70% the next game. So if an AP top 10 team loses since 2019, they've gone 21-9, 70%. They are still a dominant team. Yes, they haven't played a very tough schedule, but they're number one of the 133 in college football teams, plus 271 yards per game. Number one at plus 3.3 yards per carry. And Dan Lanning did say this. At the end of the day, they made a couple more plays more than we did. We made some decisions we probably could have made differently throughout the game, but our guys battled to the end and they showed some resiliency. Dan Lanning was probably to blame for that loss. But again, you have Bo Nix. You have an experienced team. You have over 16 returning starters that have been there and done that. They return home to a situation. And in this role against Washington State, there's only one thing that comes into my mind. Washington State is a pass-happy team with Cameron Ward, who came from FCS football, and he had great stats to start. 556 against Colorado State, 718 yards against Northern Colorado, and then Oregon State was not prepped, threw for 528 yards. UCLA showed us exactly what to do to shut down Washington State. You rushed 3, you put 8 people back, and what did Washington State do? Scored 17 points, 11 first downs, 216 yards. Now, Arizona had the game plan from UCLA. You think Jack Dickert and the OC would have made some adjustments? They didn't. What did Arizona do? Rush 3, put 8 back. What did Washington State do at home? Gained 234 yards, 12 first downs, and 6 points. Oregon, it's simple. They're going to follow this recipe. They're going to rush 3. They're going to pull back 8. And Oregon is going to win this game. Now, I'm going to give you a play here that's a little bit different. The team totals are not out yet. But when Oregon is a 20-point favorite, as they currently are, with a total of 60, you subtract the 20 points from the 60, you get 30. So the team total would be half of that. It would be 15 points for Washington State, and the Oregon team total would be 35 points. That's the estimate here. I think Oregon does exactly what they expect to do. They shut this Washington State team down, and I like Washington State under the approximate 15 points team total for the Cougars. I think Washington State bounces back. And I just want to mention this for those that are thinking, if Oregon runs the table, if they face Washington again, teams that are playing a conference opponent the second time in a season actually have covered 61.3% of the time. We won't know if that comes to fruition until December, but I just did want to mention those numbers. Talking about a rematch, guys, this weekend is the match you want to be on for me. I have a potential 5% play on Saturday, a potential 5% play on Sunday. This, to me, is the best college football card year to date so far. You get 7 days of all my action, NHL, college football, NBA next week. 7 days, $69, the code 7PASS. I enjoy doing these videos. I talk to all the Wager Talk cappers and we break down the games and talk about notes. Check out the amazing content on Wager Talk TV. You'll be glad you did. Thanks for tuning in.